know if you guys saw it, but the other day I uploaded a short video on my game table that I made recently. Today I'm just going to go over just a quick, not quick, I did a like whatever time lapse on it so that it would go by much faster, and it's still 33 minutes. So sorry about that. If it makes you feel better, this video was 2.5 hours after all of the clips were added together, and I still didn't even record the full process. So there's that too. So first off, I laid the TV flat on the ground on top of 2 towels so that the TV didn't scrape on the surface of the floor. And then I took my wood and I laid it on the borders of the TV so that I could make markings to measure it instead of like actually measuring with a tape measure. I found this to be much simpler. So I took the TV and I made a diagonal outward slit, a little loose just so the TV still has room to come in and out of the frame. And that was what I did first. Then I made my cuts with my saw and everything like that. I came back to make sure they fit. I matched them around the border of the TV, as you can see. And then I used wood glue that I got at Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember. I went to both that day. And I glued them in together, and then I used some clamps to clamp it together so that they could dry and stay stable. And then I took 3-inch screws and screwed them in diagonally. I took 2 screws on each angle and screwed the pieces together like that. And then the next part I really got stuck on. Like in the video I was following, I'm gonna link that YouTuber again. If you saw the last video, you saw the link to the inspiration of this video. I was supposed to make a higher layer, which is actually the lower layer because it's what houses the TV, and you're supposed to make diagonal cuts on that one also. But for the life of me, I could just not figure out the angles and the lengths, and I don't know why, because the principle is the same as the first layer, but I could just not figure it out, and I don't know why. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. So I tested the frame to make sure it was the right size, and it was the right size. So I came back on it and I went to the store to get more wood because I had actually used all of my wood that I had gotten, and I drive a Mazda Miata, so I have a very small two-seater. Small even for a coupe or a convertible. It's just a small car. Hey, but I own it, so no monthly payments for me on that. It'll work just until I get my finances better. So yeah, anyways, so I couldn't figure it out, so I just decided to do 4 horizontal cuts on the pieces and connected them that way, and it came out pretty good. I literally don't see any difference. The only thing I can think of that would have benefited using a diagonal cut is if I think it would have been able to hide the nails better, or it would have been able to let the nails drill in more efficiently, because the wood would have been closer throughout the whole board if you cut diagonally and could connect 2 diagonal pieces versus having a horizontal piece that you just nail into it. I think that's the only thing that would have went different. But anyway, so I finally got that right. I had to go back to the store, took a little bit of time off. I came back, I lined those pieces and I stacked them up. And this was the point when I felt like I was actually doing something. Like I was like, all right, so it's really coming together, right? I mean, in theory, the reason that made me think I could do this table in the first place, I was like, all right, so you do the top, you do the second, you add support, you put the legs on, boom, that's it. So like, I was like, yeah, that's easy. I could do that, even though I've never done anything woodworking in my life. And the video I was copying was only 20 minutes, but hey, I left to get supplies at 8 and I finished, which this is in air quotes, I finished this table at like 5:30 that night. So yeah, I really thought it was going to be an easy build, and it wasn't. So I drilled the second layer on there. This is where it goes in there, where it houses the part where the TV goes. I drilled that in there, as you'll see, and then I picked it up to make sure it was stable. I tried to nail tightened some spots on there where the second layer and the top layer were kind of loose. So I did some unscrewing, I did some re-nailing, I got it back in there. And then I came back to make sure the TV fit, make sure there was enough room for it to slide comfortably in there. Did a little bit more editing with the frame. I was like, all right, so we've got a box here. This is actually pretty cool. And then next I added the supports to where the actual TV would go. So when you flip the box over, the TV will sit in this. I didn't know it at this point, but this was actually crooked. So the higher part of the TV was raised up and the bottom part was lowered. But this would actually be pretty useful, as I figured out that since my TV isn't completely flat in the back, there's actually a bump there. So it would have had to be, and it would have needed to be uneven anyways to counteract the bump in the back of the TV. So all I did was flip it, and I made some slight adjustments, and I was able to make the TV even. I may have to adjust it again if I am ever able to get the protective plexiglass that I need. I haven't been able to find it. And then after I put the bottom parts on there, it was pretty much home run from there. I just needed to add the legs, and I still may change the leg layout. I copied the video where the opposite corners, one is horizontal and the other one's horizontal, and then the left and the right on the other side, those are vertical. And the guy in the video said it keeps the table from wobbling as easy, and it made sense to me, so I copied that, and it works pretty well. It does look a little awkward to me, so, but I mean, whatever. If it keeps the stable lasting longer, I mean, that's all that really matters at the end of the day, I suppose. Okay, so after that, I added the legs. Oh, I said that already. My bad. So I added the legs. After that, I flipped over the table. I put the TV back in there, and I was like, wow, that looks crazy. But the TV was stuck. The table was stuck in the garage, so I had to unscrew the legs, bring them back inside, and then I flipped it over, and I saw just how high the table was. In the video, he didn't really say measurements, so I was kind of making my own measurements based off of the TV. And I was like, well, how high is a table? So I decided to go with like 40 inches, I think, is what I went with. And it was like a bar table. Like if I had bar stools, it would have been the perfect height. But I didn't feel like getting a full table set of new chairs and stuff like that, even though I do plan on doing that eventually. I didn't want to do it now. So I took the legs back off. I lowered them down to 30 inches, I think is what I did. And it works much better. Besides that, I went ahead and stained it on a dark black. I was hoping the black on the wood would blend in with the bezels of the TV, and it looks real good, except for the brand. Of course, they have a big RCA logo in the front at the bottom of the TV that kind of breaks the immersion of it. But yeah, this table looks great. I just need to add the plexiglass on it, and then I need to add a nice clear coat to protect the staining. All in all, it was definitely worth it. With what I spent on resources, I want to say I spent about $200, which in the video he quoted like 150, 160. So but then again, I did mess up on some wood, so there's that too. And when I do buy plexiglass, that's probably going to push it up to like 250, 260. So wherever he lives, I think his materials are much cheaper than the materials that I got, and I got the cheapest stuff that I could get. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys check out the rest of this video if you're interested in the process. Like I said, I sped it up ×6. Sorry that it's so long. Me personally, I usually don't watch any video that is longer than 30 minutes on pretty much anything, unless it's just like something I'm totally enamored in. Well, I mean, I watch like TV shows, but like on YouTube, I really don't watch anything over 30 minutes, and 20 minutes is usually like my preferred height, but I'll make exceptions. So if you guys stick out through the end, I appreciate that. And if you have any questions on the process, or if you were wanting to make something like this isn't really like an instructional video. I mean, I'm just showing you what's going on, but like, yeah, if you did have any questions, I'm linking the actual instructional video that I followed in my video. I wouldn't say I stole the idea, but I copied his video as much as I could. So I'm going to give him credit, since he's the one who actually did the table, even though, I mean, it's not the first table ever done, but I probably wouldn't have been able to make this table without him. Or my dad, who had a lot of the tools that I needed, that saved me a lot of the investment cost, because I would have had to buy a saw and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, if I could do this table, I promise you, you can do this table. Like, I was working off of sheer willpower. And after I had bought the wood, I'm like, well, I can't let this wood go to waste. So yeah, I also have another video posted on the table if you're really wanting to see the angles and stuff like that. But besides that, this is Event Horizon. I'll catch you guys later.